Hello, everybody. We want to thank everyone in attendance today. Just a few announcements before we get started. Our next webinar is November 20th at 3 o'clock. So be sure to sign up for that webinar also. And that topic is going to be site evaluation. We want your opinion on what topic ideas for the 2026 webinar series. So please send your ideas to sales1 using the numerical 1 to at petitautowash.com. So we would really appreciate that also. And lastly, if you've not seen our new website, check it out at petitautowash.com. So today's session is designed as an overview of what we're seeing in the market. We're hearing from customers and an opportunity to share those insights with you. We also believe it's valuable to open the floor up for ideas and experiences. So we welcome you to share any success stories. So we'll be covering three main topics today. One being online marketing, two being local community engagement, and three, branding. So after each topic, we will open it up to the floor. So let's go ahead and get started. So with online marketing, I want to talk just a little bit about social media and why it'll work for you. If you do frequent postings, that inspires people to talk about your brand. It also increases website traffic. So you'll want to link your social media to your website. And it teaches you about your audience. So as you try different things on different posts, the ones that get a lot of clicks, shares, those type of things, that's contacting your audience and growing your social media so more people hear about your car wash. Enhances customer experiences, gives the customer confidence in you, and that's really important. So the more you're out there, the more you're visible on social media, that gives confidence. So when the customer does drive by, they say, hey, I know them, and they'll pull in. So another major point with social media is know your numbers. Just like you know your numbers on your cash flow, your expenses, it's important to know what your website's doing, what your marketing's doing, and what your social media hits are. And that will make yourself very visible online, and it should follow the growth of your business. So lastly, did you know that you can post on multiple social media platforms with just one click? So for example, for X, Instagram, Facebook, all those, you can buy a software program like Vista or Hootsuite, and you can put up one picture, one video, and put up your announcement, whatever you're doing, and then one click will populate all those social media platforms. So then that way you can see, what's hitting right. The younger generation does more of the Instagram. Older guys like Dave and myself and Jeremy here, we're more Facebook guys. So you can track what's effective and what's being done. So I'm going to turn it over to Jeremy, and he's going to talk a little bit more on the social media realm.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jay, for the intro. And when you're working in that online space, content's important. Obviously, everyone thinks about promoting, their business, their programs, specials, things like that. But it's important to keep engagement with your community as well, and talk about topics and things that are, relevant to your client base and audience that you're reaching out to. So just some things I wanted to highlight with everyone here and talk about a little bit. Our community-based areas you can reach out to. So schools is a big one. Number of things you can do in terms of engaging with them. It can be around maybe some of the accomplishments that the school district has acquired. It could be on the sports side. That's always an obvious one that pops up first. If they've been involved with some sort of a tournament or championship progress, that they're getting close to the semifinals or something like that. Those are fun to get behind and cheer on and maybe support with some sort of thing that you do with your local business in that regard. Some other ones maybe don't think about is, there's oftentimes education awards that certain school districts are achieving through the state or federal programs that they have, where they're getting recognitions or certain types of credentials and certifications for that are often, they'll they'll publicize those at the front of the schools and that sort of thing, but they really don't get past the doors of there. And so joining with them on that can be helpful. Or maybe some new building program that they have going on, or some addition that they're doing that you might want to engage on and speak about. Tapping into some of the other programs they have there as well. Think about their band or any of their fine arts programs that they have there. I think we were talking about that, Dave. You gotten engaged with the local band for your school district, the business that you had. I know school district where I live, they're kind of they're a larger size school, larger size band, and they do a lot of things locally in the community, and get to go do some cool trips and some cool events that they put on as well. So incorporating those into some of your online broadcasts and things would be good. Other things separate from the school you can think about, if your community has like local parades or maybe like festivals, carnival type things that go on, participating, recognizing those, maybe sharing dates, even maybe participating in them as well. Wouldn't be such a bad thing. And then also you can just, making notes about national holidays that are coming up, things you want to compliment for those people that those holidays are celebrating. And then, if there's a fundraiser or some community scale, some community involvement that gets around, certain fundraisers are going on for maybe a local scout troop that's big in the area, or maybe with your local sports programs or things like that. They're on the recreational side of things. Those are all, great things you can tap into, build content around. It isn't necessarily, hey, we're just looking to bring in more customers, but we're looking to engage with the community. Certainly can pair that with maybe doing some sort. I think we were talking about some fundraisers where you can engage with them to do, a special single window of time or day where it's like, hey, the business and washes that we do here, portion of the proceeds from that will go towards that particular group.
Yeah, I was just at a car wash, Jeremy, to where he a brand new build. So his first 3 months, he did a charity every Saturday morning, like from 9 to noon. And I think he gave 100%, but I've also heard of other guys giving like 50%.
Yeah.
And letting the little leaguers come in their uniforms, take extra donations. But what it did was it made people aware of the car wash and expanded their reach. But
oh yeah, anything that gives that personalized engagement with the community is always a benefit for any business model out there. And I think oftentimes it can get missed when businesses are trying to promote themselves within a community and they just get focused on, hey, we've got another special, another coupon, another deal, and instead of just like, hey, we really like our community, we want to engage with them and be a part of it.
Sure, absolutely. Another thing as far as online goes is Google reviews, and we're going to ask Dave here to kind of go through that.
Yeah, so the Google reviews and that, all reviews, whichever media they're on. And this will be maybe one that you guys could chime in on here in the Q&A area. But there's a lot of different strategies on it. It seems like the best strategy is to definitely respond to all these reviews as best you can, and do the best you can to be as kind as you can, regardless of the review. A lot of times, and definitely try to do your best to make sure that they're actually at your location. And even if they aren't, try to do your best to just to get to talk to them on a personal level as opposed to being online as best you can. But I spent a lot of time with a lot of different washes around the country in my previous position, installing pay stations for DRV. But the biggest thing I always saw everybody doing was they just always took the first sign of just be as nice as you can and just make the customer happy as best as you can first thing. Um, Even though a lot, some of the times it's a little tough, but grin and bear it, be happy, and just be happy that they said something rather than saying nothing, because it's a chance to keep a customer, and always keep that in your mind is at least they're talking to you. And that's the best thing you can have as a customer that's engaged with you. And always keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And so that brings us to kind of open discussion on this topic. We have a couple Q&As here that's came in, or you can raise your hand and we'll be happy to call on you. But the first one is, all those sound like great ideas. I'm curious, though, what kind of offers and marketing are you doing with each of those community events? So, Jeremy, do you want to tackle that one on what you've
Yeah,
seen
we
and
talked a
heard?
little bit about that. Sure. I think we talked a little bit about, the fundraiser side of things. You were sharing with yours. Generally speaking with those, they don't necessarily have to be, as far as offers or marketing, they don't always necessarily have to be focused around, I don't think, like, hey, we've got a promotion going on with it. Sometimes just an engagement with the community is the more important thing to do. You may include on that, like, hey, something that's a long line with it. So you could with the sporting events, for example. I know I've seen some things in the past where it's like, hey, if the team gets to a certain level, or if they win this game, we're doing a discount, or we're doing a coupon that we're going to offer to the community or something like that. But some of the other ones where it's just like, hey, there's local events that are going on. I guess the point of that was that, sometimes just that engagement with the community that's not centered around making that offer or some sort of a special discount or anything around it, is more just focused on, hey, don't forget we've got this great parade coming up that celebrates our veterans or something like that. Hope to see you there. We'll be on, we'll be in there. Keep an eye for us, and look for free coupons. We may be handing out our gift cards or something of that nature if you wanted to. But the bigger focus on that should be the engagement. Like, hey, we're excited about this community event going on, and we want to be participating in that. It's been my experience.
You're going to get more into the local community engagement here.
Correct.
In just a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Next question is, have you seen successful methods for getting significant number of Google reviews quickly? One thing that I've seen, you guys can chime in too, but is passing out cards with the QR code that will take them right to Google reviews. So you can pass those out to your customers, leave a stack there, really encouraging people to do it. And all they have to do is pick up their phone, snap on it, and they're right at those reviews. And that's a way that I've seen them do it. I've also seen some signage, Google, review us, that type of thing. So that's been an option also.
I'll chime in on that, Jay. Back in my years past with the previous business I was in, we had technicians that were out and they carried Google review cards with that QR code on it. Had a lot of success, and we would challenge them to engage with the clients about, hey, if you like how the service went, or how did you like how the service went today? They're like, oh, it was great. Do you mind giving me a review? And they would just put the QR code right in front of them, wait for them to snap it. And we were a little more engaged in that environment, but I don't know, the idea of someone spending some time at your site for a little bit of time, just asking people as they're coming in and physically asking for them can go a long way.
The bottom line is find an easy way for them to do it and connect. And
yeah.
If you just say do a Google review, then they got to look up the customer. They got to look up the name of the car wash. They got to look up all these things, go to the right area. So the easier you can make it, the better. Do we have any more questions or comments on maybe something that you guys have been successful with on this topic? Feel free to raise your hand or even type into the question and answer. And I can give you guys just a minute there before we go on to subject number 2. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the second part of the 3 parts here. And that would be local community engagement. And Jeremy, kind of parlay off what you were going off of, and we can kind of build off of that.
Yeah. So several things we were just talking about before, as far as just engaging with them online, can be some more grassroots, hand to plow, if you will, sort of engagements with them, business actively participating in the community in a variety of different ways. It can be simple things. I think we were talking about a couple weeks ago, I believe, one of the local car wash companies around here they did have their color scheme in line with what the school color scheme was. I believe they've made a change on that, and they got some not so exciting feedback from the local community. And so thinking about things of how you engage with them doesn't always have to be.
The school colors are important, and
Yeah.
In Northern Ohio, though, we've got the Cleveland Browns around here, so I wouldn't suggest doing that. You might get some get some hatred there.
Right.
So.
But yeah, there's some fun things you could do around that for sure. The fundraisers we were talking about before, so touching base on this on online, but actually doing a fundraiser event, those can range from things we spitballing some ideas around here between your local athletic clubs or youth clubs, charity events that might be going on, or something that you want to get behind, or something that's maybe tied in with even your local church or something of that nature. I know there was a company I worked for years ago. They would once a year they would get word of or look for a family that was in some particular need or something of that year, that they would do some fundraising for, that sort of thing. So those are some just outside of the normal box type stuff that you can do that gets you more physically engaged with the community. Certainly participating, as I mentioned before, like in the parades, or maybe some of the school events that go on. I know you go to about any school event or some of the parades, you'll see signage for a number of businesses, but the ones you seem to remember are the ones that are there, out in the parking lot, or even with, contributing or offering something that they're participating in the event, more than just putting up a sign and saying, "Hey, come find us," in advertising. So,
yeah, I've seen in my area, the local car wash really does a nice thing for the public servants, to where they'll have, if it's police week, EMS week, nurses week, they'll give, or teachers, they'll do teacher appreciation days, and they'll, with an ID showing that you're a part of that community, they'll give you a free car wash. And I always think that's real nice too. But it helps. It's a great marketing tool, but also, like you said, engages back with the community on that.
Yeah, or it gives personality to your business for sure.
Yeah. So, Dave, why don't you talk a little bit about, if you have an attendant there, some of the things that you can do.
Okay. So if you have an attendant at a self-serve or a tunnel wash, tunnels, this is a lot easier. Do you like lollipops for kids or dog treats for dogs, stuff like that. And then things that you could do at both the self-serves, the in-bay automatics, and the tunnels. Just give away stuff like koozies or air fresheners, or little window wipes, stuff like that are all branded to your location. And even if they're not branded to your location, but maybe stick a flyer on it. And this is another chance to put your QR code on there, Google reviews, coupons, whatever you want to do with it. a good time to advertise for yourself when you do that. And obviously you don't have to be attending all the time. This is something you could do on, whatever times you're there. A lot of you got family business and the kids are around. Maybe the kids are hanging out with you at the wash, and they could just hop up to cars as they go up to the pay station and say, hey, here's a treat for you, and kind of go that way. And then on print stuff that you could do, you could do, flyers, coupons, gift cards. If you can do any sort of marketing on your receipts, you could do frequency discounts if you can get, whether you're, depending on your pay stations, if you could do a barcode or just a code that they can type in at the pay station and do frequency discounts or give them, the next wash for free sometimes. I would always suggest putting a 2 to 3 week or less expiration date on them, depending on what you're doing.
Yeah, I saw it was at a car wash not long ago that did what you're talking about on the receipt marketing. And that car wash gave $2 off their next wash if it was 1 week. So they had 1 week to come back. And I know my wife's real big on those, little things, she'll keep that and hold on to it. So that's a good point.
And you could even do a free wash or something, or a big discount within 2 or 3 days and force them into another vehicle, because that's trying to get another customer and they don't know that you're using them as a salesperson. And if you can use your customers as salespeople, I think that's a big trick in this business is if you can use your customer base that's coming through that average of 1 or 2 times a year, half of your customers, if you could use that customer base and get them to get all these people to come in one more time a year, that would be huge. And that's kind of what you want to do with any marketing you do. So, but gift cards, no, if you can sell gift cards at any point, you want to do it. It's just down the line. Always, it seems that that's 70% redemption. So that 30% you can play with and just sell them. So.
No, that's great. So we want to hear from you guys. And does anybody have any things, community involvement wise that's been very successful for you? You can use the Q&A, or you can unmute yourself and ask the question. You can hold up or raise your hand here. All righty. Well, we're going to move on then to our third and final topic. And that topic is branding. So we want to talk a little bit about signage. If you even see you've been to Ohio, visited our factory, and you've seen any of our local car washes, either Tom's or his brother's, those car washes, you'll see just, huge signs that say car wash. Very simple. They're in red, and that really attracts people. So what we've seen and heard is that, it's more important that it says car wash than it is to say, J's in huge big letters. That's part of branding is your company name, but you want the car wash to be the one that really attracts people. If you're touchless, it's good to add that language. Of course, if you're using a Petit, everybody can do that. But signage outside showing that it's touchless is really big. surveys show that around 65% of people prefer touchless car washes for speed and convenience. So let alone they just don't want to get their paint scratched and that kind of thing with any damages. So with that many people looking for touchless, it's good to put on there. Another key word to put is if your car wash is fast, to use the word express. You can use that too. Of course, if you're using a Petit, touchless, express, those are things that keywords that you can do to attract more customers with your signage. Another big item too that we're seeing is the digital marquee signs that really grab people's attention. At the conventions that we go to, you're seeing more and more vendors selling those. And it's just a great way to grab somebody's attention of, there's something over here. They're not listening to a podcast and their mind's just numb driving by. You might be able to grab a few more extra people with that kind of signage. Another good thing is the grand entrance arch. You can brand, you can theme that. And then once you get into where you're going, of course, with a Petit machine, either an in-bay or a tunnel, you can custom design that signage to match the theme of your car wash. Like Jeremy said, even colors, things like that, so they can really help. Dryer cover is also another way to use signage. So, any theme signage, superheroes, animals. Jeremy will touch on that in a little bit, but the main thing is you really want the signage to be attractive, get people moving through, in an orderly fashion, and also attract those kids, because the kids driving down the road are going to see the car wash and say, Mom, let's go through the car wash type thing. So, we see more and more type things there. So kind of going from signage to lighting, I'm going to let Dave talk a little bit about lighting, and then Jeremy's going to talk a little bit about some entertainment type features that you can add on your car wash. That's a really key marketing point.
Yeah, we've seen an uptick in the light shows. Obviously, it doesn't change the quality of the wash, but the quality of the experience is the difference. So people are happy with the cost benefit of spending that money on a little extra money on the lights. With our unit, we have the one LED on the machine, and you have that option of the 2 or 4 extra, and then you can go on and get the G&G lighting packages and add to that. So and I've seen on the I'm processing most of those orders, and I'm seeing a lot more G&G lighting packages being added on there, and more prevalent the four lights on most of the packages that people get. So it is something that you guys see the value in, and to the new people, it is definitely a thing. People are seeing it from the road, and they're coming into the wash because of that whole candy bar idea of, looky there, I want to go see the lights, and then on that with the kids, Jeremy's got some fun stuff to talk about.
Well, we were discussing this the other day of just some of the entertainment factors or features that different car washes that we've come across. Some of them, I don't know, probably more extravagant ones come with a projector, image projector that can produce, would you say, a superhero themed cartoons? I think we were talking about that we'd seen that some of them are discussed, had been out there, and
even
others that you can do your logo on the
On the image,
Windshield,
yeah,
yeah.
for the windshield coming through. Yeah.
Yeah, variety of things like that. Um, that we discussed, I think, is a popular, or guy's got kind of a known reputation for teddy bears that he puts in his car wash tunnels that you can see and the kids can look for and capture. I think the interest behind that was to potentially try to uh, remove any anxiety the kids might be having from the noises or the things going on in the car while they're going through the wash. But Dave was pointing out before, just that we've been talking about, as the kids start to see and identify these fun, entertaining factors and elements of your wash, they start to identify that event or that activity with something fun they want to do, and they prompt mom and dad to, like, hey, let's go hit that car wash and go see the place with the teddy bears or the bubbles, and where you could put whatever on your wall or do whatever kind of a theme there that you'd like to. Um, Certainly can accomplish that with just even maybe a simpler thing of doing graphics or that sort of thing along your bay walls or inside of there that can be themed for something fun and entertaining. And then you think about some of the kind of main interactive uh, holiday events that you could do. So Halloween's, I know, been one that's come up in the past. People have done some tunnels that are haunted tunnels and done some fun things that along those lines. Um,
And we just want to say Jeremy's for rent too, if you need a ghostly character for this Halloween. So
Yes.
he moonlights doing that. So.
That's right. Anyway, I'll have a QR code up for that. You can just click and register for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, things around Halloween or even Christmas, those are good ones where you can do some fun things with lighting or extra little things you can put around at the car wash for that. So
yeah, I've seen more and more Halloween this year, and there again with as Dave was talking about the colors, you can change colors in the wash. The orange this time of year, Christmas time, maybe to the red. Those are all easy things to do.
I think a couple of things to just think about those if you're doing any of these type of things for entertainment is just planning ahead and putting some thought into what you're going to do, getting prepared for that. And just keep in mind, Dave's point we've been talking about here is that for the consumers and about any business model nowadays, it's so much about the experience for them, for their loved ones that are with them and that sort of thing. And so if we, think about that as you're building your business model for your site location, I think it's important to always incorporate.
Very good. Another thing too is aesthetics. Keeping the place clean, freshly painted, those type of things. And Dave's going to touch on that topic.
Yeah, on that, and I think we're going to kind of get into this a little bit in our next webinar with the aesthetics of the lot, the layout of the lot, things like that. But it is definitely important to keep the lot well lit. Where the vacuums are and where everybody's going to the pay station, definitely well lit and comfortable for everyone, that you're gonna feel safe getting in there, getting your wallet out and paying. Your kids are safe. And when you're vacuuming, you're okay. And everything's as clean as can be. Obviously, you're gonna get your trash cans are gonna get filled up and you do your best. But make everything as comfortable as possible for everybody and keep it clean. And that it pays off to keep it up as best as you can. And it also keeps up the maintenance on your equipment is too, and it lasts longer when you keep it clean. So
yeah, absolutely. No, well, thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. And so these are just, a few of the things we've heard. There again, we want to open it up to you. You can type in the question and answers, or you can raise your hand and we'll let you say what's some things maybe you worked for you that are able to share with your colleagues here. So we'll give you just a minute or two to put that in, and we'll wrap things up here today. So it looks like we've got maybe a milder group today, and that's okay. but we really appreciate everybody being online. We've got one more webinar series that's coming in November. Please sign up for that. And then we'll start our 2026 ones. And there again, for 2026, we'd really appreciate your input. What topics would you like for us to cover? We want to get more people involved here at Petit, different faces besides my ugly mug. So we can, bring in other people at different times too. So send those ideas into sales1 using the numerical 1 at petitautowash.com. But besides that, I want to thank everybody for being with us today. And we appreciate it very much. As always, feel free to contact anybody on our team if you have any product questions, technical questions. We're here to help, and that's our job. So we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.